So with Jupiter, when we have Rahu join Jupiter, it's actually what's called Guru Chandala Yoga. Rahu tends to interrupt Jupiter much in the way that Ketu tends to interrupt Mercury. And the reason is that Rahu is about variety, trying new things. It's about taking experience through making mistakes. It's not about listening or following instructions or following teachings or belief. It's not about believing in things. It's about taking experience and learning through our experience. That's what Rahu is about. And again, this is good with Mercury because Mercury is about the same thing. But Ketu is about, but Jupiter is about the power of our experience to be a great teacher and to believe and to learn from life. Life is a great teacher, and those things that we believe in, not necessarily religion, but the things that we believe in are a great source of strength to us. Rahu is not about believing in things, it's about trying new things. So it's called Guru Chandala Yoga because it interrupts that faith-inspired quality of Jupiter. Now, Ketu Jupiter actually is quite conducive because Ketu is also actually about faith. It's about the belief in what we've experienced already. Ketu is about the past and this idea that I understand this, I know this already. And again, that can be very disruptive to certain areas of life, like for instance the present moment where we need to be flexible and creative and open to new experience, again, which is Mercury stuff, so Ketu Mercury is kind of interrupting. But Ketu Jupiter is actually the belief in the power of what we've learned. That's what Jupiter is, and the power of what we've learned and how that can prevent us from making the same mistakes over and over again. That's what Jupiter is, really. That's what wisdom is about. It's about belief. But it's always belief in what you've learned already, what you've experienced, what you've learned. And again, that's Ketu stuff. Ketu is about the past and what we've been through. But again, it can get sort of calcified around this certainty that's very rigid. With Ketu, it's quite rigid. But with Jupiter, it's not. It's quite expansive. So if you get Ketu join Jupiter, again, it's going to interrupt Jupiter to some extent, but it's also going to really concentrate the energy of Jupiter. It can interrupt in the sense of making us maybe a little bit rigid and a little bit dogmatic and a little bit sort of religious, even somewhat atheistic, which sounds like a contradiction, but it's not, because atheism also is a kind of religion. It's a strong belief. And Jupiter is really about beliefs, certain beliefs. Ketu is about a kind of certainty based on the past, which can be rigid. But if it's joined Jupiter, and of course other things are present, then it can really make us concentrate and be very simple and devoted to what we've learned and what we believe. And that's very much Jupiterian stuff. And, you know, this can also include when you get the planets in those signs, you know, like Ketu in Pisces or Ketu in Sagittarius, Rahu in Gemini, Rahu in Virgo. This axis is quite conducive to figuring out the puzzle of Rahu. And again, when you get Rahu join Jupiter, it's confusing because Rahu is about trying a lot of new things. And there's this illusion when you get Rahu Jupiter that gathering all this information about a bunch of beliefs and a bunch of teachings is actually making progress. So when you get Rahu Jupiter, there's this idea that, oh, I'm really learning a lot because I'm gathering a lot of information about all these teachings. This is the sort of culmination of Rahu eating a lot and not digesting any of it. Eating a lot and not digesting. This is what Rahu is about, the head cut off from the digestive tract. So again, eating a lot is good for Mercury because that's what Mercury does. But Jupiter is where we need to digest those teachings and put them into practice and make them into deep beliefs that uplift us and that take us forward in life. When you get Ketu join Jupiter, Ketu is like that, all that experience from the past that can be of great benefit to us if we simply get untangled about it and we stop acting like we have it all figured out. So when you get Ketu Jupiter, Jupiter really expands that quality of Ketu that can be sort of calcified.